Welcome to Cash Call. Listen live as expert sales trainers give actionable feedback on real calls while you learn coaching tips directly from the professionals. Dale, Archdekin, Brian Curtis back again for Cash Call. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you made it from last Wednesday to today without a dose of Dale and Brian, but you did it. Congratulations, you're still here. Right, Brian?
Absolutely. We're just happy to be back and dropping some good stuff today. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I have a call today from one of my clients. That's my assistant, Isis. Hey, Isis, you're on camera.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Got a little extra share today.
Yeah, a little extra share today. Yeah, we are a very high production quality outfit here, Brian. So you get to see a little that's the blooper reel.
Excellent.
This is one of my clients, and got a couple things to talk about in here. So I think we'll just jump right into playing the call. I'm just going to set the premise up for you guys. So this is a lead that the agent, the salesperson, is following up with, and ends up setting a tentative listing appointment with this person. But where they're at is they said, hey, I have this house. I originally bought it as an investment, but then I had to move into it. I don't know about you, Brian, but that's happened to me before.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. So I've had an investment property I had to move into too. So that was this lead. And basically, when the salesperson follows up with him, he says, hey, I still want to get into real estate investing. I'm at a point now where I have to decide whether I'm going to sell this property or keep it as as a rental property, like my first rental property. So that's where we're jumping into the conversation at. And we'll listen to this agent set an appointment. So let me share my sound. Okay, here we go. Just give me a thumbs up when you can hear it, Brian.
Okay. That should be a pretty sought after type of home right now. I tell you what, Dominic, if you're up for it, probably the easiest next step would be if I could just come by, take a look at the house, give you a fair market value for it in today's market, and do give you a full valuation on it, just so you can see, hey, here are the real-time numbers. If you were to sell it, whether it's now or whether it's later, this is what you'd expect for in today's market. And then we can kind of sit down and crunch the numbers and figure out, is this worthwhile to keep and rent? How much could you get for it in rent? Or is this something that you need to seriously consider selling and, like you said, starting new with another residence and moving forward from there? Does that sound like that'd be helpful?
He ended with, does that sound like something that would be helpful? I think he's doing good. It was a good pitch. One thing I want to point out that I teach everybody is, before he goes into the, hey, here's what I think we should do, we should meet, do a little test, okay? Because that's an ask. You're closing for something. You're closing for an action or a decision. Before you do that, just ask, hey, Dominic, have you met with an agent yet to figure out what this house would be worth, right? Just test the close that you're going to give them. Because if you do that, now it didn't occur in this call, and we're going to listen to the rest of it. Didn't occur in this call, but what could easily happen, right? If I'm like, hey, Brian, I think we should get together and I can tell you what the house is going to sell for. Brian could easily say, Dale, I've already done that. I've already had 18 agents out to my house, right? Or you could say, yeah, Dale, I already know what my house is worth because I'm totally educated in the market. And it just destroys the close that you were going to make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's set up, we all say if we have more information, it's easier for us to figure out where to go. And that's just what Dale's saying there. Don't have the thing that you're going to close with be a guaranteed lose. Because if you do a discovery like that, it would, because I like his close. He pumped the value and then he said, can you see some value? I don't know exactly. Can you see some value in doing that? They're not going to say no to that unless Dale's point is, yeah, I agree. It's an amazing value. Already did it.
Right. Exactly. And, I guess if I was to make a point about that, right, when I say test the close, if I say, Brian, can I come meet with you, tell you how much your house is worth, right? Versus, hey, Brian, have you spoken to an agent yet to find out what your home is worth? Now, if you say no, great, go straight for the pitch, and you would pitch exactly what you did. If Brian said, oh yeah, I've already talked to a couple of agents and I have a really good idea what my house is worth, then I got to take a different line if I want to get face to face with you, right? And that from that point, if I said, hey, Brian, have you met with any agents to find out what your house is worth? Yeah, I've talked to a bunch of them. I have a really good idea. Oh, got it. Okay. Did you guys come up with a strategy for how to best position your home in the market to get the most money for it? Meaning, do you have a plan for any changes or upgrades you're going to do that could get you more money? Right. So I've just changed what I'm trying to tee you up for. And if you said, well, no, I really haven't thought about it. Now I have an opening. I can pitch, I can close for something else.
Yeah, and you've got to have that. If you only have one thing that you're closing for, you're eliminating a whole bunch of people. And again, do I think this is a great close? I do. And the truth of the matter is probably 60, 70% of the time, if you've done the discovery, no, we haven't had an agent come over. So it works most of the time, but I don't want to lose 20, 30, 40% because I don't have another pitch. A couple things I like to do in that scenario. Oh, out of curiosity, what kind of range did you get? If they said multiple people, what kind of range did they say? Oh, they said it was worth between 300 and 350. Oh, okay, cool. So with that in mind, did they talk to you about what you could do to get on the higher end? Oh, nobody did that. Now there's my in. You know what I do is I have a stager come over with me. We go through, there's no cost for that, by the way. I include that as part of my package, and she can literally tell you everything that we need to do to get the absolute maximum value for your house. How's something like that sound? All right, I just got another in, but I got to make sure I've got someplace to go.
Yeah. Let's listen to the rest of the call. So this is he just went to close. We're going to hear what happens. And I have it on 1.25.
In the short term, yes, but with work and kids just got out of school, so I'm dealing with a lot of moving pieces, but I say within the next maybe 3 to 4 weeks for sure. I just have to kind of ramp down my work schedule because I coach my son's little league and the season is almost over. So our days,
nice.
Yeah, so we're basically 10, 12-hour days, and then some days I leave work and then I go to the games 2 or 3 days a week. So
basically the objection is I'm too busy, right? So listen to what this agent does. He's a really good agent. He's been doing this for a while. And he's been training with us for probably 5 years at this point.
I get that. I got 3 young kids. We haven't hit little league age yet. How old are your kids?
I have 2 11-year-olds.
He's going straight for rapport. Don't you love it? So what's that, Brian? You're muted.
That's exactly where I was hoping he was going to go. Don't miss the opportunity to talk about his kids. I mean, clearly it's important to him.
Yeah. And so, what's really great about this, everybody listening, is, your typical salesperson would hear that objection about how he's too busy, and they would immediately try to find a time that would work. Good instinct, and that's your basic salesperson. Andy has been in training for a long time, and he's been, he's got a lot of hours in the simulator, right? So he knows that the power of rapport is huge. So when somebody gives you an objection and they give you enough meat to that objection that you can build rapport around it, or you can take you could take your conversation somewhere else more personable before you come back to the sales part of it, you really get a lot of value and have a lot more of a chance of getting what you're looking for. So he took that off road.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I hope everybody gets this, and they'll press play here in a second. But one of the most important things for people to understand is Dale and I talk about sales techniques. We talk about closes. We talk about languaging. By the way, all really important. None of it matters if you don't have rapport.
Right.
None. Yep. You can have the greatest close in the world if the person's like, "This guy's a dick." You're not gonna win. And
I disagree. I was a bit of a dick for a long time, and I still made business happen.
But people didn't think that.
No.
If there's a difference between, I probably should use a different word, difference between being a jerk and having people think you're a jerk.
Yeah. I guess I'm just being self-deprecating and making a joke. I've grown a lot throughout my sales career. And early on, it was definitely not easy street. I'll just put it that way. So I just wanted to make a funny joke, but you're absolutely right. If people think you're a dick, they're generally not going to do business with you unless you're the only option.
Right. You better bring a hell of a lot of value.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's hear so Andy's starting to build rapport.
And a 2-year-old.
11-year-old and a 2-year-old. That's fine. I got 4, 2, and 5 months. 2-year-old's about to turn 3. Her birthday's next week. But yeah, they're all little, close together and little. So we haven't quite hit little league yet, but that's a lot of fun. I totally get the busy schedule. I work I work flexible hours. Like I have to work around my clients' schedules. So evenings, weekends, stuff like that is pretty normal for me if that's what's needed. Is there a specific time that you think it'd be easiest to do something like that?
So now he's flowed, right? From close, like sales convo. Nope, we can't have that because I'm super busy with kid stuff. Oh, rapport building around kids, right? Now we're gradually transitioning back into sales. Do you think there's a time that would work that would be more convenient?
Are you
And it
really-
wouldn't need to be, just to clarify, this doesn't have to be a big thing. This is just me dropping by to get eyes on the house, just so I can give you a pretty good idea of what you'd be looking at for value. So
Hit pause real quick.
Yeah.
He wussed out there.
Oh,
He
what?
asked-
Didn't have to be a
He
big yes.
asked for it. He didn't get a yes right away. And he went, oh crap, let me see if I can. He should have got the no, in my opinion, before he did that, because the guy might have said yes to this. We've built some rapport. We went to the kids. He might have said yes. And if he said no, we go, look, man, I understand you're super busy. Here's my question. Can you find 15 minutes someday?
Yeah.
You could change it.
So
But if you didn't get a chance to say yes.
I definitely understand. I see where you're at, and I'm going to disagree
Excellent.
because I think that Andy could feel that the guy was not. You heard him, the noise that he made, where he was like, right? I think Andy sensed that, and he lowered the ask automatically to get the guy to say yes to it. And I think it's a good technique that he did, and it's one that I frequently use also, where basically it's like, if I want to get the foot in the door, that's what he's shooting to do, right? So really, he just needs to make his ask as simple and no-brainer as possible. And when you listen to what happens next, Brian, I feel like it reinforces what I'm saying. So
and let me say this: I missed the or the I missed it. So that's probably good catch. Good catch for the 8. Catch for Dale.
Yeah, the guy was like, right, and then Andy was like, whoop, downshift, right?
Okay. Yeah, I missed
now
it.
listen to listen to what the guy says next.
don't worry about this being a big, I got to get the house in perfect shape for somebody to come see it. No, I'm totally fine looking past stuff.
Yeah, the kids here, this house, like it'll never be here. Like,
yeah, I know how that goes for sure.
That's a good one.
Okay.
So now he's going into his calendar to figure out when he can do it. But basically, Andy uncovered, and it was almost just in like sounds and like we understand where each other is having kids. Basically, the guy's hang up was, oh shit, I can't get this house ready for you to come and look at, right? And when Andy did the downshift and said, hey, I know, you don't have to have the house perfect, like that uncovered this guy's objection, which is the one thing that was holding him back, which was, I can say yes to you, but how am I going to get this house ready for you? Turns out that was what we needed to overcome.
I'm trying to think. So I don't work on Saturdays usually, but I know this Saturday I think we're doing something. But a Saturday for sure. So let me figure some things out, and I can definitely let you know what time works best.
Okay.
But that sure would work best.
Now we're almost there, right? The guy said Saturday, would be best. I don't know about this Saturday. We might have something going on. So we're doing well. Now listen to what Andy does, and I think you and I are both going to have just a little bit of sort of, he's doing great, but it's like what we say on the show, right? Is we can help you take it just that little bit farther.
Okay, so like potentially next Saturday, the 24th?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
If I don't have
Why don't we do this then? I'll touch base with you next week. I know you got a lot going on right now. Sounds like Little League's wrapping up. Let's touch base next week, and we can set up a time from there. But yeah, as far as like looking at your situation, it seems like this is probably the next step to just kind of.
Okay, so he's just reinforcing the fact that they're going to meet. It doesn't get any stronger or immediate than I'll follow up with you next week and to confirm, right? So, and I don't think that's bad. I think it's decent.
Not horrible. Yeah, it's a 7.
Horrible. Right. Yeah. But in thinking about it, I was like, what's missing? The question that I have that I'd want to get in there is when do you think you'll know? Right.
Right. Set an appointment to set an appointment is the verbiage I use.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. So right now it's just, I'll follow up with you next week to see. But if we follow what you just said is set an appointment to set an appointment, I want to, it'd probably sound like, if he said, yeah, Saturday would be good. I don't know about this, or I don't know about this Saturday. I might have something going on, but Saturday would work. And then I said, okay, next Saturday, the 24th. And he said, yeah, let me check into some things. That's a possibility. Somewhere I'd work in the question. Got it. So when do you think you'd know whether Saturday was a go for us or not? Right. Tie it down
Or,
to something more.
yeah, or this, hey, when would be the best time for me to follow up with you on that? In other words, what day and time? Because I don't know about you, but if I don't put stuff on my calendar, sometimes it just doesn't happen. I'm very calendar driven. So with that in mind, what day would work best? Oh, I don't know, Wednesday, perfect. In the morning or afternoon? Afternoon, perfect. I'll call you at 5 o'clock. Bam. Now I've got an appointment and again, it's just an appointment to set an appointment, but we're going to have an agreement. I don't know about you. I'm sending a calendar invite. Like this is going to be a real thing. And none of that guarantees anything, but it going to get you closer. The other option, and I don't know if you were going to go there or not, but I'm going to steal your thunder if you were, is that you can set an appointment and say, look, hey, so I understand you don't know exactly what's going on. If nothing is going on, is it mornings or afternoons better for you? Oh, mornings. Okay, why don't we do this? We'll tentatively set it for 10 a.m. on Saturday. I'll call you on Tuesday to verify.
Yep.
He's going to answer the phone on Tuesday now if he wants to cancel. And we've already got him on the calendar. So that to me is the strongest approach. Doesn't always work. People are like, no, I don't want to do that. You get a lot of that, but it's a no anyway if you don't try. So
right. Yeah. And I would say that, spoiler, we don't have to listen to the rest of it. Basically, it never got more solidified than I'll follow up with you next week to find out. Right. That's pretty much all. So I think that these suggestions that we've given would help tighten up that end. But I think that overall, it's a really good call and a really good, exhibition of him being able to flow from pitch to rapport, pitch, objection, rapport, to close again, come back around and close again and get a tentative yes, which I think is a really good example. And
I agree. I'll hire this guy today. He's good.
Unfortunately, he's not for hire, and my client would probably be pissed if you got him.
No, I'm just kidding, but just the point that I'll take 20 Andys on my team.
Yeah, Andy's a really great guy. So I want to show another quick thing. This, is something that comes up occasionally. Listen to how this call started out.
Hello, Dominic. It's Andy Civils, the realtor calling with Berkshire Hathaway. We spoke last year about homes in the area. Reason for the call today is just checking in to see if that's still something on your agenda, if you ever ended up buying a house, or if that's still something you're planning on doing in the future. Is that something that you're still thinking about?
Yeah, I kind of put a pin on it. I had some family medical issues. My dad suffered a stroke, so I've been,
oh my gosh,
past couple of months. So,
wow. Okay.
So he starts out right with, I put a pin in it. My dad suffered a stroke, right? Now, one reason I'm demonstrating this because it turned into a 6-minute and 30-second conversation with a tentative appointment, right? So Andy stayed there. He stayed in this conversation. So we'll hear what he did next. I have an obvious suggestion there, but it didn't end up damaging the conversation.
So you're putting a pin in it now. Is that still a future thing you'd like to do at some point?
Yeah. So I'm at the point where I'm looking to.
Okay. So he just repeated, but he ignored the dad, right? He said, oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. You put a pin in it. Is that still something you're looking to do in the future? I think that for this conversation, it didn't damage anything. But it, he was able to switch back into sales mode again and move forward. I feel like I might have, at this point, in hearing that, I might have said, oh, wow, how's your dad doing? Right? Right.
Yeah, and
one question.
Here's the sensory acuity of this. Like, in other words, you're paying attention. Like when I missed the that was bad sensory acuity on my part. Here's the good sensory acuity that Dale just displayed. This guy is not like, oh, my dad, he's had the stroke. He's like, my dad had a stroke.
Yeah.
What I took away from that is his dad is probably fine.
Yeah.
Because, it just, if your dad had a stroke and he died, you're not going to say, yeah, my dad had a stroke. It was awesome. I mean, there was no energy in that. There was no, oh yeah, man, your dad had a stroke and, he's still dealing with stuff, and ask him, in that situation, because it doesn't sound like he's deep in his feelings about it. So it's probably okay, but it shows you care.
Yeah. And I look at it as before I switch back to sales, right? And want to find out, oh, hey, I heard about your dad in the stroke. Do you still want to buy a house, right? Or make a move? Just slide one, which is what happened. Slide a how's your dad in there. Oh, he's good. He's out of the hospital, whatever. Great. So I know you put a pin in it. Is that still something you're looking to do in the future? Exactly what Andy said. I'm just sticking one more softener in there.
Yeah. Just show up, people work with people they know, like, and trust. Here's another corny saying: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. All those things, they're corny sayings for a reason. It's because they work. I mean, they're general, but it's real.
Yeah. I just closed the deal today where I called up the lead. The lead said, hey, yeah, been meaning to do it, but my daughter's home from school for the summer, like on summer break right now. And I'm really busy with her. And I just said, how old's your daughter? Right. In reality, I hate to say this on air. I don't actually really care. I don't care how old her daughter is. Does that sound bad? Is that bad?
I appreciate the honesty. And the truth of the matter is they don't care about us either. I'm not trying to be sure. But this is a business transaction, and we're trying to do business. Now, we have to tweak a little bit in there, but I can tell you this: one of the very first things that somebody taught me was too many agents get way, way, way too deep with their clients, and it puts them in a box they can't get out of sometimes.
Yeah.
They just build this huge, gigantic relationship, and they're hanging out with them after closing. That works for you. If you're that person, good. I will say that can cause problems. And so I never did that. I built as much rapport as I felt necessary, provided great service, but I didn't hang out with my clients after closing unless they happen to be my friends before we listed,
Yeah, I understand that. But I guess if I was to summarize that, then Brian, I would say people care about themselves, and if you approach them only as a salesperson about what you want. So if the person said, in my example, oh, hey, I'm really busy, my 7-year-old is on summer break. If I was just like, oh yeah, okay, well, how much time do you think you would have, blah blah blah, right? I just skipped right over that. Just the simple, how old's your daughter? I have kids this age, right? I know how it goes. Like, that is just a very simple rapport building exercise that all salespeople can do, right? It makes the lead feel good. It makes the lead feel connected. And, it's not like I'm going to her communion or something, right? But, it's still just that little bit of human exchange that shifts it away from sales for a couple of seconds and causes people to be more connected to you.
Yeah, here's a recurring theme, and it doesn't, I've got a call, but I think we'll just play it next week because we only have 6 minutes left. But here's a theme that I keep hearing as we're doing more role play, as I'm listening to phone calls, stuff like this. I would really love to go show you some houses. I don't care. I would really like to come over and take a look at your house. I don't care.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but here's the thing. What's in it for the other person? You're a salesperson. They know you're a salesperson. They don't care that you want to show them houses. They don't care that you want to see their house. What's in it for them? And, somebody said this: I'd love to work with first-time home buyers. I don't care. What's in it for me? How about this? I specialize in working with first-time home buyers. I'm so happy that we got together today. And let me just talk to you about some of the benefits of working with me and my company with first-time home buyers. Now I'm talking about something that benefits them. I don't care. They don't care that I like working with first-time home buyers. And here's the thing. It sounds cheesy. I'll be honest with you. Do I want a guy buying $1 million house, or do I want a first-time home buyer buying a $200,000 house? I want the $1 million house. Okay. Did I enjoy working with first-time home buyers? Yes. Were they my first choice? Heck no. I wanted the high-end commission, because it doesn't take any more time. Oddly, it probably takes less than a first-time home buyer. So I don't know. It just sounds like, like, you like music? I like music. Come on. And I do believe a lot of people say it with sincerity. I love working with first time. I appreciate that. Stop it. It doesn't help you to tell them what you like, what you want. You haven't earned that right yet, is where I'm at. So
Yeah, if I put that in the context of some of the things that we teach, right? The logical next step, which is when are we going to talk or meet? Why are we going to talk or meet? And what's in it for the lead, right? When we
Yep.
do, what is in it for them? Like you're saying, just because you want to come and look at my house, you want to show me houses, doesn't tell me what I'm getting out of it. Why should
Yeah.
I want to see houses with you? Why should I want you to look at my house?
It's so important. It's real, and again, I'm not saying that never at any point in a conversation can you tell somebody what you want, what you like. You can, but most of these calls that we listen to are front end calls. Like
Yeah.
we're
I
not
think-
listening to somebody who's, we've been showing houses to for 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah. I think that if your close is mostly based, or if the only thing that gets communicated in your close is what you want, then you're in serious trouble.
Well, and also, and I don't know, it lacks sincerity sometimes too. Again, you like music, I like music. Okay. I mean, it lacks sincerity. You're a first-time home buyer. First-time home buyers are my favorite. Come on, really? Really? Even if that's true, we've been on the phone for a minute and a half, and I
think you can only pull that off if you are a certain type of personality. Like if you are a super bubbly, like tell you anything type of personality. Like I went to a personal development thing last night, and the woman who sat next to me, literally, as the presenter was talking, she was over here commenting and talking too, because she just could not talk. So if you're that kind of person and it's like, there's no filter between the idea and it spilling out of your mouth, then go for it, right? Because it works for you. And that's how, but the rest of us are not like that.
Yeah, if you're that kind of person, work on it.
Brian's fired up today, everybody, on Cash Call.
And it's funny. I go to a lot of development stuff, a lot of training, and nothing drives me more crazy. I've worked on it. This is my part to work on, is that person who has to make a comment every 45 seconds when I'm trying to learn something. Like, shut up, I'm trying to learn this.
Yeah, she was so she and I could not have been polar opposites, but I managed to just stay focused and not. I realized that she was almost talking to herself and that I didn't need to engage with it. So it was okay. Plus I had a glass of wine. So it helped me. It helped me stay focused.
The quote of the day: a glass of wine will help you stay focused. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's it managed to take the edge off the distraction, I would say.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, I need to give a quick plug. So we'll put the link somewhere into the chat, and wherever you see this, we'll put it in the comments, but upload calls so that we can play them. Please, if you have a team, upload an ISA's call, agent call, your own call, just upload them here and we'll give you some good coaching feedback and advice. And don't worry, Brian and I don't bite. We'll be nice. And you can even change your name to protect the innocent. Okay. So we'll just call you John or Jane Smith. All right, everybody. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us today for Cash Call. Brian Curtis, Dale Archdekin once again. And we will talk to you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Cash Call today. If you like what you heard, come check us out at smartsalescoaching.com, and we'll be back again next week.